I'll be using the Thinkorswim system to show you how I made this morning my HEPA stock symbol trade. HEPA, of course, is marijuana stock known as HEPA Pharmaceuticals. Now, on my chart here, I'm on a 15-minute chart, and the green line on my chart is the SMA, which is simple moving average, this line right here. The dotted line on my chart is my VWAP, which is the volume weighted average. And my green line, of course, my blue line is my moving average exponential. So for me, when I make trades, it's easy for me to look at the 15-minute stock price as well as my uh, moving average exponential as well as my SMA. Now, if you know about stock trading at all, sooner or later, the price of the stock, if it's too far extended above the SMA, it will eventually come back to it. As you can see, it was above right here, came back and touched it way down here at the price of 473. Now, if it go too far below, like this point here at 340, eventually it'll go back up to the SMA or even cross it. In this case, it went to 392 and crossed it. Now, my trade this morning, look at the pre-market. And I saw the high of the pre-market was 579. So my thought process at first was either A, watch when the opening bell hits and see if it crosses that 539 and I'll buy in there, or B, find a low point and then match up the green candlestick once it passes or half the size of that previous red candle. In this case, previous red candle was up to 414. However, the first green candle that halfway up that price, which would be about 389, which is right here at the bottom of this first green candle after the market open. In this case, it's pre-market. So I wouldn't trade pre-market because it's difficult. The volume isn't there. And a lot of times the market open, the stock would drop. As you can see here, the first candle, 15-minute candle of market opening dropped way down here to 363. My next thought process was to buy in the first green candle that passes the halfway point of the previous red candle. Some people say they buy in once it passes the green candle. I do the same thing as well sometimes, but a lot of times I wait to the halfway up the first red candle, previous red candle. Now, it sounds kind of confusing, but that's the way I trade half the time I trade. Also, look at the 15-minute chart, as I do at least, to get a big picture of what's going on. Now, you also go to the 5-day, 5-minute chart. You look here, you'll see at market opening, it was potentially going to consolidate like it did here and then break out. Now, the highest candle was 424. You could have bought in right there and ran with it. Or, like I did, you could have bought it at 404, which is right here, which is almost halfway up. It's halfway up the previous high of the red candle. Now, if you look also at the 1-minute chart, which sometimes can be confusing, you look at the 1-minute chart at market opening, you will see the first candle, it is dipped, consolidated somewhat. Then the first green candle to halfway past the red, which is right here, it took off, went to the high, 415, pulled back, consolidated again, went up again. Now, for me, the 1-minute chart is more difficult to trade than the 15-minute chart. Again, I like seeing the big picture. That is the way I look at things. So back to the 15-minute chart. 5-day, 15-minute chart. So my situation, I waited till the market open, which it did. I watched the first red candle because sometimes it takes about 15 minutes for a stock to shake out and see what direction it's going to go. It may go red, it may go green, you never know. If you look here, the first green candle was thin, meaning the top was at the bottom and the what they call it T-top, if I'm not mistaken. And then you look at the top of it, it was very skinny, which means it was less volume traded than it was at the bottom. So the bottom usually puts down, the bottom shows how much volume is going downward or selling power. If the if the candlestick is top heavy, it shows the buying power going up. Selling power is again the large area on the bottom. The buying power against the filled area on the top. So in my case, I watched my RSI. I saw it consolidating down here. It wasn't doing much of nothing. Then notice the RSI start taking a turn right here. And if you look up above, you will see that first thin candlestick, which is right there, which is kind of deciding what way it's going to go. Also, the MACD will show down here. You will see the red, the bright red, which is a heavy selling power. When you look at the burgundy color, at least from my standpoint, that's when the stocks start reversing on the MACD. So my first point was look at when it reversed on the RSI, which is right here, as well as the MACD. Actually, MACD reversed back here, so I kind of knew it's going to reverse when it turned green. So my situation, at approximately 9, what time was it when I bought this stock? Approximately 9:45. Again, 15 minutes in the stock. I saw that the stock was halfway up the previous red candle, which is right here, and I bought in at 404. My goal was to take about 30 cent, which is less than 10%, but 40 cent before 44, which is 10%. So I bought in at 404. I watched it rise. I saw it hit 428. Let me go backwards. When I hit it at 404, I put the alert in to my friends that, hey, it's at 404. I'm buying in right now. Doesn't mean you should buy in right now. That's what I'm doing. You can do what you choose to. I'm telling you what I'm doing. So at the 404, I saw it rise the first 15-minute candle. It topped out at 430. So now my goal was, when it crosses that previous green high, I'm going to sell. I could have held it a little longer, but I'm not being greedy. All I care about is 10%. So it popped up to 450. I put a sell order in 450, and I said, hey, this thing, my friend said, hey, this thing can still run a little bit. Hey, I would buy it if I still was trying to buy into it, or I should hold it a little longer. Instead, I sold it. And you see next candle, same candle, it ran up. It hit 545. I missed out on 90 cents. Sorry, yeah, 95 cents. Now, that's a whole dollar almost. I could have had a lot more money than I did. My thought process again was, I'm okay with that. I let it be. Don't be greedy. Green is green. If you can see here, the next 15-minute candle was red. It topped up and then it's dropped. As you see now, it's currently at currently it's at 497. Now remember, I bought in at 404. I could have held and then sold right around here. Still could have got big profit, but again, I'm not greedy. I'm in and out. No complaints at all. Moving right along to the next stop. Again, this is what I did. I explained best what I could, and here we are. One more thing. If you look on the level 2, which is over here, you'll see the bid and the ask price. When I bought in the 404, which is a while back, the volume was picking up at 395, so I kind of seen the volume pick up, and at that point, I can't show you now, it was more buyers than sellers, which telling me it's going to steady elevate. That's how I look at things. Now, right now, even is at 497, but you see, it's about the same amount of buyers as sellers. So, in this case, once it hit 395, 396, you notice the sellers steady backing off. Sorry, the buyers steady backing off, as sellers are steady building up. So that's how I traded it. It's my thought process. I'm going to post it in my group that I'm with, and you can see what I'm referring to. You have a good day.